Hey everyone, this is Mani here with Kwanzoo. We are here for episode 34 of our AI GTM talk series. Excited to present another episode I have with me our head of products, Raabia. Hey Raabia,
Hi,
how are
Mani.
you?
Hello. Hello, everyone. Yes, I'm good.
Thanks for joining, Rabia. So, folks, we've been doing this series of talks. It's now, as you can see, 34 episodes in. We kicked it off early this year, and so the primary motivation for us was, as we work with quite a few SMB to mid-market customers, we see many of them are transforming their go-to-market because of all the new AI apps, tech, and tools. And that said, there's a lot of confusion in the market around different pieces of tech, data, process, how to put it all together. And so we've been bringing on either uh, CEOs of AI GTM, tech startups who are going deep in different areas. So we've had a series of those speakers. We've also been bringing on, subject matter experts, practitioners, revenue leaders, and marketing leaders, growth leaders to talk about how they are tackling AI GTM challenges at their companies. And so today's episode, um, what happened for us was I've been going to a bunch of these conferences, trade shows lately. Was at a bunch of events around Dreamforce. Was at the GTM Go to Market event in Washington D.C. Most recently, we spent some time at TechCrunch. Disrupt, which just happened this week. A lot of questions around buying signals, intent data, and so forth. So, what we thought was we will put together a session just focused on top 10 questions. We want to answer top 10 questions for you around buying signals and intent data. So, with that in mind, I'm going to just switch over and we have the questions teed up. We have some interesting demo that we're going to show you along the way. Nobody likes to just see slides. We get it. So we've got some interesting, things for us to really dig deep into, and hopefully this is useful. There's some shared learning for all of us. So with that, so and Rabia, I know you put all the most of the work behind all the material we're going to present. So thank you for all the work you did here. So let me just switch over to the deck you put together, and then we'll bring up a slide, folks, and then from there we will get into the demo as well. So I'm showing this screen here, signals and intent data, top 10 questions answered. So let's go to question number one. So what are buying signals? How are they similar or different to intent data? So I think the short answer is they're essentially the same thing. Buying signals, purchase signals, um, and those signals can come on your website. The signals can come off your website on basically third-party media websites. Signals can come from social channels. Signals can be scraped, as many people build scrapers and so on. Then they go grab the signals from across the web. And then, as you all can see, their signals can be either person level or company level signals. It's about an individual or it's about a company. Rabia, how do you think about this whole notion of buying signals? Is there a way you've got a mental map of how you think about it?
Yes. So as we can see, so there are multiple signals out there. So we have website behavior. So no, any visitor who is visiting the company's website, so you
Yeah.
get what kind of behavior is there on the website. They visit certain pages. Are they on the product page, or are if they are more interested, they go on the demo or contact us page. So you get to know the website behavior of that buyer, so that you can deal with them accordingly in the sales cycle. Then you
Mhm.
have intent signals. So if someone is researching across the web for product or solutions which are similar to yours, so then you get an idea. Okay, they are looking out for a similar product or solutions. So accordingly you can those are also good signals for the buying signals. Then we have company level intent as well, so you get to know which companies are showing up on the website. You resolve those too. So combined, all of these signals, they give a very good idea about what the buyer engagement is and how to get to that buyer and how to reach out to them.
Yeah, so I think Rabia, maybe we can just take people into the product a little bit and show them, right, how we capture some of these signals. I'm sure people have, folks watching have questions. So why don't we just switch over? So I'm going to just quickly, folks, just take you into the app so you can see what these signals look like, and then we'll keep going. So that the point here is just within the app, as you can see, um, we so these are personal level signals. So as an example, so imagine that you have a specific company and a website. So then on the website you have somebody show up. This gentleman here says, so Dan, right? So companies right here, their work email, LinkedIn URL. We even have their mobile number, title, traffic source, meaning how did they find us? How did they get here? Through paid search, through organic, and then the industry, some firmographic information on the company, and more interesting is the buyer journey behavior, right? So the three most
Mhm.
recently visited pages and so on. I think so. This is an example of person level website signals. So we have this, we call them website warm leads. Now we also have off-site intent, like I think Rabia we were just right talking about, and these folks,
Mhm.
folks watching. So here, everyone, here's the richness of the taxonomy. This is, again, you're going to get person level offsite intent leads. So this is, think of, Bombora is probably the most well known. Then you have all your ABM technologies, products and tools that, and who talk a lot about buying intent, but it's company level intent. They'll tell you, okay, Cisco is interested in cloud security or web content management. Well, how are you going to dig in and figure out who at Cisco to go talk to, right? So this is where I think this taxonomy, and I know we have this rich taxonomy. We also are going to keep adding more topics to the taxonomy right here through custom topics. But I think probably worth pointing out, Rabia, that this is where we have some amazing data that's person level offsite intent leads, which is offsite signals at a person level that goes way beyond today's intent data, intent solutions. So just to show people a little bit what that looks like, um, this is somebody who's interested in data architecture, customer data management. But obviously, we don't tell you the account. You got your job title, seniority, industry, and so on. To grab the individual lead information of the person offsite that's engaging, this is kind of where you can select one of these, click unlock, and basically grab the lead. So I think that's, in a nutshell, an example of a demo of that person level signals, both on the website, off the website. And then, real quick, to give folks a sense of what you can do with account level signals. As we both know, Rabia, that is pretty much table stakes at this point, right? I mean, it's been around forever. You've got all the ABM tools that do this. You've
Right.
got the individual smaller tools that also do the company level stuff. But for completeness sake, obviously we have it too, right? So you've got company name, domain, URLs, the total buyers, right? Known and anonymous, industry, on and on and on, description, SIC code. I mean, there's a lot of rich information. So I know, Rabia, one of the things we will get into a little later on is how do you operationalize these things? How do you make sense of it? How do you organize it? How do you uh, do outbound programs, campaign sequences around it? And how do you kind of get, at the end of the day, what people are getting this for, information for, which is to get appointments, get meetings, move deals along the
Right.
sales cycle, sales pipeline. So let's go. So folks, that's question number one, right? So what are these buying signals? So let's go, I guess, Rabia, to the next question. I'm going to tee that up next. Maybe we can chat about that. So back to our top 10 questions. So over to question number two. So Why does intent data have such a bad rap with marketers and salespeople? And how has it changed? So, Rabia, maybe you can kick it off. So, um, I go to all these events and I've heard so many salespeople tell me this stuff just doesn't work. Um, and what do you think has happened here, Rabia, just looking back? So,
Yes. So mostly what has been observed is that these tools, the traditional tools that we which are there in the market, they are very much hyped about this intent data, and it's
yeah,
kind of oversold. They don't have the complete data, accurate data. So they set
hmm,
up very unrealistic expectations, but they are not able to meet those. So that's what has been going on in the market. Then
yeah,
again, we see that they lack the precision. They are not, that data is not accurate. So sometimes the leads, they are incomplete data or not even the actual data.
yeah.
So that's leading to mistrust with this intent data so far. And
Yeah, I
then
know. I mean, for example, we work with so many customers, right? I mean, people want reliable, high quality, pre curated, pre built data, right? I mean, that's a fundamental issue. The expectations on data is up here, and then
Mhm.
data that's actionable is another major expectation for salespeople. I mean,
Right,
salespeople are like, what am I doing? What can I do by knowing that IBM is interested in this product, that the
right.
solution area where I have a
Mhm.
solution to offer them? I can't action it. I can't do much with it. So, no, fair
Right,
enough. I think so. So the point here is that this has been the state of the world, company level intent, whether it is a Bombora, whether it's any of these ABM tools and tech. And for whatever reason, there's so many markets who just stuck in just keep pushing that. I mean, it's just crazy. I don't get it, but I guess that's what's happening. And the point is, in the last 12 months or so, now you have person level intent, not just on your website that you can get, which is the website de-anonymization tech with the buyer journey. You have person level tech off-site. So that's what we just showed you folks a little bit earlier, which is 90,000 different media websites. And across those media websites, data that's coming to our Snowflake backend, 20 billion records a week, right? Hundreds of millions of records a day, being able to put in topics of interest, being able to get at a person level or lead level who's interested in your product or solution area. Because you know the way it works, and maybe you know what, I know we're going to get into how does this all work, right? So we'll get it. We'll talk about that there, because that's another big question we get around all this, right? Which is how does it work, right?
right.
So so the problem is, just to finish this up, intent data has been overhyped, overpromised, and we got to give realistic. We got to set realistic expectations, and we got to tell people how to work through the occasional glitchy data, which, believe it or not, still happens. But folks need to get comfortable with, okay, it's not going to be 100%. You're going to have a few that are off, a little bit off, and then we got to explain to them, Rabia, how do they work with it, right? How do they actually use it? So we'll get there. So on to the next question, and Rabia, let's tee up question number 3. I'm going to go on here and bring that up next. So Rabia, our next question is, maybe we can speak to this next, which is, uh, people throw these terminology around all day long. They talk about first party, second party, third party. What is this thing? Like different kinds of intent data? I mean, what does it represent? Can you maybe speak to each of these and what they are?
Sure. So we have basically we have three types of intent. So one is first party intent. So data which you directly own. So it's on your own company website. So all the
Yeah.
website activity, form fills on your website or email engagement, anything which is related on your assets. So that is the first party intent. So which you own directly. So this is the most valuable data because you have this. It's accurate as well because you're getting it directly from your website. It's de-anonymized. You get the entire information as well.
Mhm.
Then we have second party intent. So it is from some trusted partners like G2 Trust Radius or some other review platforms. So any data that you get from those platforms, so that will be second party intent. And
Mhm.
then lastly, we have third party, which are the aggregated intent signals from across the web. So it could be content networks or media sites, publications, and so on.
So yeah, no, that's great, Rabia. So I think then what we should probably explain to folks watching is uh, where we play at Kwanzoo is around first party intent, where we are able to tell them who is visiting their own website, and we de-anonymize them and give them actionable leads for their salespeople to go action. And then we are also directly helping them with both the person level and company level intent on the website. And then we are helping them with third party
Excellent.
intent all across, I mean, off on these media websites. We have a network of 90,000 media websites. We're able to de anonymize and bring them person level leads, offsite intent leads. So, folks, first party intent, third party intent, those are two areas. We've got capabilities, we got solutions. We can talk about, how you can use it, action it. Um, Second party, of course, today what happens a lot is you may have a contract or an agreement with a G2 or a trust radius, and then that data is usually it is company level. So it's company level, who's interested in your product or solution on trust radius, on G2, looking at a directory listing. That information typically flows into your CRM, and then you will need to then build a list. Oh, here's potential targets of people um, that I should email now because they're relevant contacts at that company. So that's, I guess, a distinction between first, second, third party. For first party, I know, Rabia, we do a lot of cross validation
Mhm.
against, so for example, when you send out emails through a marketing automation tool, when somebody clicks on the email, the marketing automation tools are able to tell you, okay, who all engaged and clicked on those emails. That's pretty reliable because it's an email that you sent. So
Right.
we in fact tie into some of these map cookies to validate that the first party intent that we are getting from some of our data partners on the website is matching up to the email, right? Map cookie data, and then the email matching that we do just to do some validation. So I think that that leads us right into the next question, Rabia, which is um, I want to put this one up. I think this is going to be an interesting discussion because I get so many questions about this. So I want to put this one up and maybe we can talk about this. So this one, folks, is the big one because people ask me all the time. Um, so how does Kwanzoo's website de-anonymization tech really work under the covers? Um, So, Rabia, why don't you tee it up? So, can you talk about how I know there is a resolution, which is one piece of it, which is um, turning the anonymous or the unknown to known. And then there is enrichment, which is okay, now I kind of know something about this person. Can I make sure I know everything I need to know?
Right.
How do you think about this, Rabia?
Sure. So yeah, so like you mentioned, so there are two parts to it. One is the resolution part. So you have the cookie resolutions. If there are cookies are available, which help to de-anonymize those website visitors. So we get very basic information such as say name or email of that person or account information, very basic. And then, or it could be IP to email. So we get the IP address of the visitor and we map it to the email address. So once we have this basic information, then we go to the second step, which is the field level waterfall enrichment. We use this data and we have waterfall of multiple data sources which we query and get the best data attributes for the entire contact and company level attributes. So everything related to the contact, which could be job title, department, other information, and the company attributes as well. So we do the field level enrichment and fetch so that you get an entire enriched and exhaustive data of that company and person based on these details.
So, yeah, no, I think to add to what you just said, I think it's important for folks to know that we have multiple partners for resolution
Hmm.
so that we can maximize how many of these people we actually are able to figure out is on their website. So And as you can see in the order, we go for cookie level resolution first because that's even more accurate in terms of tying to that person who's doing the actions and activity. With IP to email, it does happen that it may be at a household level because, maybe you have a spouse or a partner, and, from the IP
Right.
address, we can't, that kind of approach cannot tell, is it you or is it your partner?
Hmm.
And so you'll need to do additional filters right within the app to say who fits the target ICP accounts or who fits the target personas to kind of separate out you and your spouse or you and your partner. So make sure the lead is accurate in that sense. Um, and then you've got the field level enrichment. As you pointed out, Rabia, you got to make sure the work email is accurate, the LinkedIn URL, the mobile phone number, right? The list goes on. And then obviously we have people can pick and choose. They could say, hey, I don't need the mobile. I have other ways I can enrich mobile using my own data that I've got in my CRM. So we have split it up, right? We have the limited profile and the full profile and different flavors of this data that they can pick up from us. Probably
Right.
worth mentioning, Rabia, that we basically are giving it pre-built, pre-curated, you know no need to know trade secrets or tribal knowledge about I got to use this provider, then I got to use this, I got to use that. I mean, it's crazy, right? I mean, the amount of time people spend on clay and some of these other tools trying to tie it all together. And I know you and I even tried to use one simple use case and spend hours, right? And it is ridiculous. So the point is, most growth marketers, demand marketers just don't have the time. They need pre-built, pre-curated, ready to go data, and that's something they get. So that's on
Right.
the website, Ian. On and Rabia, I think the tech is pretty similar even for offsite, right? So the offsite intent leads is again cookie-based, third-party cookies across those 90,000 media sites that have been tagged, that have been cookied, and then we get from the cookie to the email, and then from the email to the profile.
Yes. Yes.
Can you speak, Rabia, to what parts are probably in order the most reliable? Because a lot of people ask us question, right? Which is, um, hey, I got this record, but the LinkedIn is wrong, or I got this record, but the company is wrong. I mean, what in your mind are the most reliable pieces of information about somebody?
Sure.
What's the
So,
right way to think about it? Because what changes and what tends to kind of be
hmm.
a little more static?
So if you see the first name, last name, and the personal email, these three are going to be the most reliable because more
Yeah,
or less the personal email that will not change over time. So
yeah,
people do switch companies, so account information or their business email that could differ. A
yeah.
LinkedIn URL could also more or less remain same, but yes, sometimes it's not updated. They haven't updated their LinkedIn to match their current role or their current company. Uh, but still, we have seen changes in their LinkedIn URLs as well. Maybe they create some new URLs or different LinkedIn URLs as well. So to
Yeah.
rely on, yeah, so we could say that first name, last name, and personal email, and then yeah, we make sure that we do all the cascading stuff and we get the best data for the other fields as well using the reliable fields.
Yeah, absolutely. So folks, there you go. So that's how our tech really works under the hood, under the covers. So let's go on then to the next question that we get asked a lot. So folks, this is about how does person level visitor ID tech, how are we continuing to stay compliant with the current data privacy and compliance regulations? So, uh, few key points here. First up, we do not have any de-anonymization personal data on anybody that's outside the US. So this is a US only solution. It's 110 million plus cookies, third-party cookies on people who are all US consumers, US professionals. And so GDPR, we don't even touch Europe because of GDPR. All of our data partners have ensured CCPA compliance. So they have consent, safe tracking, consent management systems. If you notice, if you go to the Kwanzoo website, for example, we have made sure that there's a way for individuals to opt out. And when anybody opts out, we make sure we do notification of our data partners that, hey, this person has opted out, certainly from our universe of folks that we are managing tracking on our side. We also notify our customers to say, hey, this person has opted out. So we are really then uh, notifying the customer. Then of course they will need to institute the proper process to make sure they stop contacting those people and reaching out to them. The other point is, uh, we've tried to build this all the way down the stack, right? So for individual customers, in how we engage with data partners. So this is a constant evolving field, and we certainly are trying to keep up and stay up with all the changes that are coming with data regulation and privacy. So there you go, folks. That's all about data privacy and compliance. This is absolutely compliant. It's something you can do in terms of nurture and outreach. Um, and again, it is for US only use cases. Let me then go to the next question, Raabia, which is around what are the different buying signals that we support today? Can you speak to this, please?
Sure. So yes, so we talked about these different buying signals. So Kwanzoo supports most of them. So we have the website signals. We do de-anonymization of the website activity on the customer's websites. So it's very straightforward. You deploy a tag on your website, and anyone who's visiting will track those and give you the entire information about that user. So then we have offsite intent that also we support. It's really being used across multiple customers. So we have a taxonomy, a very extensive taxonomy of 23,000 topics. And you could also use custom topics if you don't find those in the standard taxonomy. You can use custom topics to create multiple new topics, and we fetch the offsite intent leads across 90,000 websites. So we do support that as well. Then we have account intelligence. So it gives you the account level or account level attributes for the people who have visited your website. Social signals like LinkedIn, Reddit. So that is upcoming as well. So any social activity, LinkedIn posts, likes, comments, or Reddit articles on specific topics of interest. So we'll be mapping those as well and giving an entire a view of the buying signal for that particular lead. So
Yeah.
everything is.
So Rabia, I think one thing maybe you can bring up next is, I know many people are wondering, okay, we have all these different signals about a person. Um, can I tie the whole thing together so I can kind of know, okay, for the same person, here is the activity on the website, here's the activity off the website, here's the activity in social. How are we thinking about this? Because I know you have been working with the team to kind of build that whole thing out, right? In terms of call it the buyer journey view and the buyer journey detail, um, which, as you know, right? I mean, today, even with Google Analytics, you don't know at a person level what's the engagement, what's the buyer journey. Uh, Take Adobe Experience Manager. We know for a fact, that doesn't give you that person level detail.
Right.
Take Mixpanel. Take literally any of these so-called Postdoc, any of these tools. I mean, you really are unable to tie to an individual what's all their buyer journey behavior, right, on the website, and how does it tie to any behavior they may have had off the website? Because that's the holy grail, right? That's the rich kind of a person
Right.
level signal data, intent data that's going to be super valuable for our customers. And I know you've done a lot of work around that with the team. So do you want to show them something? I think you have something to show.
Sure. So I'll start with the. So we have tried to build a very detailed leads view, so which has everything for a particular lead, the entire behavior. So then I'll move on to the buyer journey as well. So
Yeah.
everything, all the signals that we support, everything is tied up together in the single record for that lead. So that whatever engagement is showing up on the website or across the web for the offsite or going forward for the social signals, everything you will get together in a single record. So all the personal information, you'll have the company level details. If you have subscribed for the B2C or personal details, so you'll have those details as well. It's quite extensive than the company related information. Then we have a specific engagement related details which are on the website, all the recently visited pages or last visit date and time. We do some calculations and we have whether it's ICP or non-ICP, what is the status. We have various filters on our um, platform which help us define whether this lead is a profile fit or not a fit, traffic sources, what is the last updated date, and so on. And then the type as well, whether it's intent or website or both. Then next, for the same lead, you could also get other details. Now these details are the offsite intent details. What is the intent score? What are the topics of interest? What was the intent date, and so on. Then we have another thing named as the contact monitored. So we have a product which where we are monitoring certain contacts. So whether this is a monitored contact and showing some activity, so we do support that as well. So you get everything in a one record, and then we have a buyer journey field. So if you see that's at the lead level, but here you'll get all the impressions, all the activities of that buyer um, in a single file. So what is the activity date, or what was the type of activity? What is the URL they visited? Product solution, then the buyer location. So you'll have the traffic source, and then going on to the details of that buyer. Okay, what is the job title, security department, other details, lead status, and then you'll have page level details as well, page referral or device level details. So all of this for all the activities, all the impressions, we'll give this data. So which comes out to be quite extensive. So if they have 10 page visits on the website, we'll give you 10 details here. So you'll know what exactly was the entire journey of that buyer on the website.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And I think this is the kind of information, would you say, Rabia, that folks can feed into a data lake, a data warehouse, right? Could be into some kind of a hub, you know, prospect intelligence, customer intelligence, build segments, and then use those segments for our orchestration for outbound campaigns, nurture campaigns, on and on.
Right.
I mean, this is like a critical missing piece. I mean, there's so many pieces of tech out there, but without this kind of high quality, valuable data. And I know one of the things, Rabia, you and I have worked on quite a bit is having a universal kind of a person ID, like we call it a buyer ID, right? So the buyer ID is because, people for whatever reason think they can hang the entire record off of a specific email, and that makes no sense, right? Because all of us have multiple emails,
Right.
and uh, and then they also think, and then similarly for companies, right? The notion that company, you can't just say a company is the domain, because the company, you got to have multiple pieces of information about the company. The company name can be different: IBM Corporation, IBM Inc. You can have the location, right? The city, the state, the country. So I know we've thought through and we kind of built a composite company identifier. It's not one domain as a company identifier, and it's not one email as a person identifier.
Right.
So probably worth mentioning. All right, so I think then these are the kind of signals, folks. We've already got built into the platform. We'll continue to bring in more interesting signals, aggregating more signals, make it really, call it a signals hub that you can literally go to town, building all kinds of workflows and automations on top. Um, Next up, let's talk about, oh, there you go. We kind of been talking about this. Um, what is the role of the signals hub that we are now offering into the market with the broader AI go-to-market tech stack? What does that look like? How is it changing? How is it evolving? So what is the role of the Kwanzoo Signals Hub in the AI GTM tech? Why don't I do this, Raabia, to answer this question? Maybe you can kick it off, talk about top level, these 3 points I think you've tried to make, and then I'll bring up a layer cake architecture, data, kind of a
Mhm.
flow, kind of a visual, and maybe we can speak to that. So
Sure.
over to you, Rabia.
So, yes, so what we have observed with other tools, so they do have these signals, but they live in separate silos. So they may
Yeah.
have intent, they may have website data, but they are not linked together. There's no unified view of the lead or of the buyer journey, so they don't get the entire picture of that lead. So that's what we
Mhm.
have tried to solve for using the Kwanzoo Signals Hub. So we have the unified signals. It's integrated everything together in the same record, which includes website, intent, social signals, everything. So you give one big picture what the data looks like, what the engagement of that buyer looks like. And similarly, buyer level view as well. So across multiple signals, there's one buyer profile, so that when the salesperson they reach out to that prospect, they know what to talk about and what has been the engagement throughout multiple signals. And beyond that, we also support the integration with other tools, all the marketing automation, Salesforce, Clay. So you get to write all these unified signals into these systems so that you can then later deal with the outbound campaigns and so on.
Yeah, so Rabia, maybe before I go to the architecture visual, why don't we show people the integration side of things because they haven't seen that, right? So I just want to take them there real quick so folks can see how we support all these kind of different integrations that people will probably want. So let me bring that up, and then let's go there, take a quick look, and then we'll continue with the presentation. So if I go back, uh, folks, so here's let's talk about what happens. So let's say you have all this rich leads data, and it's sitting in our hub, sitting in our app. You can then click on one of these wizards, and then you can then define all these filters, of course, and then once you've filtered, once you got all your what we call profile fit leads and whatever you want to push over to some other destination, here's all the integrations you have out of the box. You can send daily triggered emails. So literally, you can get it in a CSV file for actioning in your growth team, to your agency partner, through your sales team. You can write into all the major marketing automation tools. You can pick and choose the kind of person level intent data, signal data, call it what you want, leads that you can write. You can write it into Slack or Teams, and it's very rich information ready for your salespeople to go action. You've got an AWS S3 bucket. You can write information there. We also support clay tables. You can define a very rich, large table where you have all the data sitting there for you to go action. And then, of course, we've got CRM integration. So imagine all the leads they skip the map and then they go straight into CRM. And I know, Rabia, we're seeing more and more customers, right, who want to do this. Um, People are debating, hey, do I still need traditional marketing automation tools? Should I be looking at some of the newer tools? Should I be taking the signal data and pushing it into some other architecture, some other orchestration apps and tools, and then pushing it out through, uh, call it more modern emailing tools and LinkedIn sequencing tools that allows them to do names and multiple mailbox. Um,
Right.
So a lot of that is going on. So what we were just showing you the richness of integration out of the signal stuff. So the data is not going to be something that's there, hidden there. The idea is funnel it out of there wherever you want it, right? We don't, we'll push it where you want. I mean, the idea is to make it actionable, make it useful. So I'm going to bring up then the architecture diagram, Rabia, and maybe we can speak to that a little bit. So let me bring that up. One second. Um, so this is a PNG. I'm trying to see, is there a way to show it over here? So one second. Yeah, I think there's an entire screen option. So I'm going to use that for now. Bring that up and bring this up. Um, Maybe, I don't know if there's a way to do that. Let me see. Were you seeing that architecture visual at all or no when I brought it up?
No.
Okay, so never mind. I think then what I'm going to do is I will bring it up over in this other presentation. Oh yeah, I think let's just do it here. Critical components, so um, we can kind of bring it up over here. So I think the point here is, okay, I'll put this up, but we'll talk about how this seems to be changing lately, right, with some of our customers. So um, what we are seeing is people are aggregating all these signals, dropping it into Signals Hub. From here, this Signals Hub, we are seeing yet another component that's popping up right below the Signals Hub, where they're feeding it in, which is an orchestra, like a prospect and customer intelligence hub, right? Which is got additional data, not just the signals data from us, but other data that they're also bringing in, and then they're then funneling it from there into an orchestration layer, which is like an NA10. You then have some tools that can do personalization. They may use clay, they may not, but we're seeing with or without clay, we're seeing different approaches. And then the CRMs are able to pull data in and out of the CRM into our Signals Hub, pull it out of the CRM into the prospect intelligence hub next to the Signals Hub, which is what I was hoping to show, which is another visual. And then from the intelligence hub, it goes off into the orchestration hub. Makes sense? So with that, let me then go on to the next question that probably is interesting for us to talk about, which is, let's talk about I think how our intent data is different, which I think we pretty much covered that. And we've also got what are the challenges with ensuring data quality. We've already covered that, Raabia. So I want to get into outcomes before we wrap. Um, what do people care about in terms of outcomes when using all this intent data? So let me bring that up, and maybe we can close with this question. Raabia, over to you.
Sure. So, so using this data, I guess most of these customers, they look for earlier identification of these prospects. If they can spot these buyers earlier in the buying cycle, whether it's on the website or through intent, even if they are searching across the web before coming on the website. So if they are able to identify that, that is really useful for them. So which helps to improve their overall pipeline as well. Uh, we have various mechanisms in our platform which help them control the budget. So because one thing, it's very targeted, and plus they have different controls, and they can, they don't go over the budget as well. So
Right.
they could have thousands of intent leads, but they have the mechanism to filter out to very specific targeted leads, and they can control using multiple capping schemes and all. So that's how it's different with other marketing tools.
Yeah. Yeah, I know we did a whole lot of work around giving them control as to, hey, I only want leads from this page on my website, or I only want leads within that page. I want to be able to filter and find the ones that are ICP fit and profile fit. And then we also have controls like I only want to DNRs or grab so many leads for today. So there's a daily
Right.
cap, there's a monthly cap, so then they can cap their budget. I know we've done it for offsite intent leads because they're a little more, pricey than the website leads, right? But having said, they're a lot less expensive than your content syndication lead or LinkedIn lead form leads and so on. This is a very compelling price point. But the point is, we've got, as you said, all these caps on how many of these do you want to pick up, right? And action for the day and for the week and for the month. Um, Now, the point then is you got to funnel these leads. You got to push them into an orchestration tool. And one of the tools we have a whole case study around. I think that could be interesting for folks to hear about a little bit. So I'm going to switch over, Raabia. Then once you have this very rich intent data, how do you operationalize it? We'll talk about that a little bit. I know we've had entire episodes devoted to just operationalizing the intent data.
Mhm.
Um, is that right? So let me bring this up, and let's talk about essentially another slide here, which is a case study. So I know we worked with one of our partners, and then they implemented this for what customers, Avanade, $14 billion Microsoft solution provider. Also had people ask me, does this work for MBs? Yes, but this happens to be an nice case study. So they did a 3-month POC, had 3 digital sellers, 10,000 active contacts. We're doing this contact monitoring. They got 25 to 85 alerts a day, right, around specific people from their set of target contacts who are showing buying behavior around their topics of interest. Then they followed up with emails, with LinkedIn, with dials and calls, and within literally 60 days, I know that they saw 18 meetings that happened within 60 days, right? And then there was another 60 days where they were able to book another 45 meetings. So it's like 63 meetings in a 4-month time frame. And this all happened this year, right, between June and October. So the point, folks, is it absolutely works. But again, you do have to put it all together. You got to have the right kind of messaging, and then you're going to see the outcomes that you want. So that's it, folks, for today. We've covered signals, intent data, what's it all about, and hopefully we've answered your top 10 questions or more. So I'm just going to put up the thank you screen, Raabia, and let's just quickly let folks know how they can reach out to us and talk to us if they have more questions. I know that they can reach me through my email and LinkedIn. That's up here. And I know they can reach you, Raabia, and your email is raabia@kwanzoo.com. And so that's it, folks. Thank you. And that concludes another episode 34 of AI GTM Talks.